to Exotic Wine Travel. I am your host, Matthew Horkey. I have to first of all, we're gonna be tasting some Slovak wines in this episode from very small producers. I have to apologize first because of the lighting and kind of our surroundings. Shireen and I have been on a crazy last 3 weeks. I don't know how I would put that. Last 3 weeks, we've been doing tasting trips, press trips in Sardinia, Hungary, and also Slovakia. Moving every single day. It's been a crazy schedule. And ahead the next 3 weeks is going to be crazy because we're also doing press trips in Hungary, again, Slovenia, and Portugal, and Italy. Shoot. So the next 2 months is going to be crazy. So let's get into some of the wines here today. We did a 10-day retour of the wine regions of Slovakia. And we went there for the first time last year and I actually was really impressed with what they're doing there. And this time, it just opened our eyes. We met more producers. We tasted more wines. We had a wonderful time. And I'm going to share some of those wines with you today. Slovakia, you got to think, they say that there's about 15,000 hectares of vineyards in Slovakia. Producers say it's more like 8,000. They've adopted more kind of the Austrian style in terms of appellations and how to label wine, so there's lots of information on the label. But these three producers are tiny. You really got to know who they are or be in the area to get them. But I thought I'd share some of my wines with you. I have to warn you before I get started, I have tasted all three of these wines before at the producer's place, so let's see how they shape up today. Let's get started, shall we? The first one we have is a producer called Cora Bosch, tiny producer. We spent an afternoon with him. He's an ex-sommelier that wanted to learn about wine, and he started learning about wine. He eventually went to school in Morava for winemaking school, and now he's buying grapes, making his own wine. This is his Traman Červený, or Red Traminer, also known as Gewürztraminer, from 2015. This actually won a gold medal at a local competition, and we're quite impressed with this. Traminer is a variety that does suffer, does not get that great of acidity, so it's flowery, it's nice, but sometimes I'm just craving and wanting more acid. So, I see a wine in there. I got to get that out of the frame. Let's give this a go. Nice golden color. The Traminer, actually, what I was going to say in Slovakia, has more acidity, as do most wines, because it's in the northernmost limits of where grape growing is possible, latitude-wise. Let's give this a go. Shireen and I liked this wine when we tasted at the winery, and I gotta say, it's impressing me today. He buys all his grapes, Jarl Korbash, does a pretty darn good job, makes an excellent Pinot Blanc. We spent the afternoon with him. He met his wife, who's actually Filipina. They met on a cruise while we were working cruise ships in America. I thought that was really cool. They have a beautiful, small, really humble cellar, and I think that he's going to be very, very, very good in the future. For me, you get the typical lychee, sweet peach notes, a little bit of a yellow flower. You guys see here, it's a really golden color. Really golden color. Let's give this a go. This is pretty good. I mean, really good. Shireen is the one that was really impressed with this the first time we tasted it. It's got mineral notes. Like I said, it's got all the Traminer flavors, a lot of floral, a lot of citrus, a lot of sweet peach notes, but it's got acidity, and it's got a touch of aging notes to make the palate a little bit rounder. I'm liking this a lot more than when I had it at the winery. I'm going to go 3.9 out of 5. I think it's pretty darn good wine. Wow. Pretty good stuff. This and his Pinot Blanc, I think, are his best wines. I will put the Pinot Blanc up on the screen. I think it's also an excellent wine. Shireen's in the back somewhere, so I'm going to have to force feed this down her throat after I'm done filming the show. Let's move on, shall we? We're going to taste the Lukáš Krasñanský, if I'm saying that right, Felder from 2016. Those it's a German cross. Felder is prized actually because it gets deep color, which in the past German wines did not. Actually also known for making really, really simple red wines. I'm going to give this a little bit of a rinse after the Traminer. Lukáš Krasñanský and his wife Martina, beautiful family. They also have a kid named Simon. And since it was out in the middle of nowhere, we actually had to stay the night with them. And they showed us all around their village. They took us actually to the wine museum, which was wine museum in their town, which was really cool. They took us to a few other small producers. They took us. Lukáš also is a vineyard owner. He works in the vineyards for a bigger company. We stopped there, and then we tasted some of his wines. He only makes about 5,000 bottles a year from his own vineyards. Wonderful family. His wife Martina cooked wild boar for us, which was delicious. Really sweet people, young, on fire, enthusiastic, and the wines are clean, well made. Let's get going on this wine. I was really surprised to see Don Felder in Slovakia, but you do see it in the Malokarpatska, or the small Carpathian region. And when I tasted this wine at first, I was actually very impressed with it because it was just a good example of Don Felder. And it does smell like that. I get a little bit of blackberry, like wildberry pie. A little bit of chocolate. If you've had Don Felder before, it's not super complex, but it's just dark, like dark berry pie, real fun to drink. Let's give this a go. Silky mouthfeel. A little bit of pepper, just a non-pretentious, easy-to-drink red wine that you're not going to get upset about. I'm 3.8 out of 5 on this. I think I was the same score the first time. I think it's pretty darn good red wine. Not blowing my face off. Delicious. I really like what he's doing with some Rieslings. He's making a sweet Riesling. He's also making an Alibernet, Georgian style, with no sulfites. He actually had bought a few Georgian Quaveries. Real interesting guy. All his wines are clean, well made. And he's only 26, 27, so he has nowhere to go but up. Already making some delicious juice. Let's move on, shall we? One of his friends he brought us to, Rusnak Grimava. This is the cuvee of Alibernet and Svatoverenitsky, which is actually St. Laurent. This is the 2016. This was actually so funny. Very small producer. I think making a couple thousand bottles. He actually just took this, took the barrel sample and put it right in the bottle because he just bottles as needed. Very simple, humble guy. I wasn't a big fan of the barrel fermented whites, but his reds were pretty darn good. He actually got a gold medal, I think, at AWC for one of his Alibernets. For those who don't know, Alibernet is a cross between Cabernet Sauvignon and Alicante Bouschet. So it gives some leafy capsicum notes from the Cabernet with super dark color. And Shireen liked this, and I have to say this is pretty good. I mean, it's got a lot of capsicum leafiness, wild berry, pepper, quite complex. Let's give this a little bit of a taste. Fans of Italian wines are going to love this juiciness. The St. Laurent gives it some juiciness. There is some rusticity in it, but the Alibernet actually has complexity. If you get a chance to taste it, very interesting grape. Wild blackberry, capsicum, leafy notes. I gotta give Shireen credit for this. This is pretty decent. Got some texture to it, some chewy tannins. I'm going to say 3.8 out of 5. Like 3.8 out of 5. Yeah, sounds good. Not blowing my face off, but really nice red wine, juicy complexity, especially for a small producer. I think it's worth checking out. So, you know, the Slovak wine industry is pretty much dominated by a few big producers, but there are a lot of small producers making some interesting stuff, as we've seen here. Like we came across tons of gems on our trip, and we'll be putting more articles and videos on our website in the coming weeks. So guys, if you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Exotic Wine Travel. I will see you at the next episode.